Ohayo. Yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't know. I don't know exactly. So, you know what? I forgot something, which is actually change my subtitles to English. Okay, I'll better. So yeah, how is everyone doing? Never mind that comment by Stream Elements because that's wrong. Today is Japanese Day. So for those who are already familiar with what I do as a VTuber, yep, today we'll all be learning anime. No. I mean, for those who are familiar, I don't think this, this is something for those who just want to like pick up Japanese for the first time. Like, I'm way past that. Like, Dios mío, we're at we're I don't know, it's just Monday. I already feel tired. All sorts of tired. But you know what? Let's proceed to the thing. So yeah, so as usual, we all know the drill. So requests are on. And this is actually what we had last time. So last time we had like teoku. We actually got like, using sentences to qualify nouns, which is actually an important thing in Japanese because we do that in English as well. We do that all the time. And I think it's just those because we mostly covered more kanji. So yeah, which is, all sorts of interesting. Okay, so this has been like last week. No, not last week. 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. Let me just like check which ones I haven't done yet. Nope. Yeah, I think because of that, we're really like assuming you've been following my streams, diligently, we should be on our track to yet another lesson. What did I put in here again? So I usually call this like upper basic Japanese. Or, for those who are familiar with JLPT, like the Japanese Language Proficiency Test, for those who are familiar with that, this is basically the N4 level. And what's the date today? Yep, it's already February, surprisingly. Like, what? January's already over? Like, what do you mean it's already over? Huh? I know we're all sorts of tired. I'm like kind of tired. I just got from like the shower and it's like hot. ちょっと暑い. So because I think this one last time we basically got to cover everything from lesson 15 of Genki 2. So that means the next one actually we're starting off with lesson 16 of Genki 2. With that, we all know the drill. So we start off with vocabulary. Of course, it's not, it's not holistic Japanese without like all aspects basically. Yep. We're kind of like funny how we're kind of actually like serious here, like actually like teaching Japanese and all. Kind of interesting. And I've been doing, this since I started VTubing, which was like last July. So, oh. Where is like my shortcut? There. I did mention to every one of you that, I was not really meant to buy a pen tablet. I was just like too gullible, like too easily influenced. Per se, you know what? Let me just like change my background for a bit. Oh, there. So we start off with vocabulary. Oh my god, my writing skills are poor today. So vocabulary in Japanese is called goi. So I've been telling that like so many times. Nevertheless, it's never a bad thing to reinforce. Yep, this is how it's written in Japanese, and I might be like, not really like aiming properly or whatever. But this is indigo, so maybe like a dark. So, for vocabulary, of course, we have nouns. We have actually we haven't actually gotten to like pronouns. We have kare, kanojo, kanomono. That's it. Oh well. So let's start off with nouns. Lol. Now for some reason, I kind of suck at writing in general now. For those who are like concerned, are we required to be able to write, like this in Japanese? Well, eventually you should be able to. Eventually. But is it something you should beat yourself for not being able to do immediately? Not really. Instead of beating yourself, just do it. Okay, so let's start off. Okay. Sometimes I think the problem with I think the problem with someone who's like really high in Japanese proficiency teaching lower Japanese is that it's hard for us to adjust the level of Japanese, to something people would understand, Because, like, for example, myself, I would tend to like throw words sometimes that may not even make sense to people unless I'll like introduce, hey, this word means this, But, that's the beauty of learning. So, Iki means station attendant. I'll just put it here. Oh, no. So, I guess to provide like a bit of context, Eki means station, like train station, mostly train station. So the in part means like staff member. So a staff member in the station, in the train station. Okay, next one. Probably just Oya. Oya means parent. Like, doesn't really specify whether it's your mom, your dad, or your other mom or your other dad. And then third word, actually just like hiragana or katakana. Usually we write it in katakana. Gomi. So gomi means trash or garbage. towards me. No. Okay, I'll stop with these deprecating puns. No, I'll stop there. Okay, next one. Hold on. Sato. Sato means sugar, like powdered sugar. Or actually, this is more of like the table sugar. Sato. And then next word would be let me do that again. Oh, there, finally. Alright, so next up is Shogakuin. Shogakuin. So this means scholarship. So this is specifically referring to like the amount of scholarship, you know, because we have like in at the very end. And the next one. Oh, I forgot the other kanji for this one. Hold on. If I got it correct, you know what? As best practice, let me just refer to an external source. Actually, never mind. They got it correct. Shinseki. Shinseki means relatives. Usually it refers to like immediate or adjacent, you know? It could be like your cousin, your aunt. Yeah. And then next word. JC-kun, yeah, welcome. Yeah, we're actually like learning Japanese for you here. It's like a Monday thing at this point. So, oh shit, this is like, this is one kanji like I tend to forget, and not that I'm exactly fond of. Oh my god, I was able to write that. Otoko no banana. Beru ni来てくれてありがとう。おはろく。そして男のバナナありがとう。推薦状. So this means a letter of recommendation. I may not have enough space here. Oh. So it's actually from like the word suisen suru. So suisen adds suru because it's a suru verb. So suisen suru means to recommend. And then next one would be... Okay, so previously we know about like, you know, grade school being shogaku, middle school being chugaku, high school being koko, daigaku being college. What is grad school then? Well, I already say the subtitles. Well, the subtitles like literally spoiled you. Spoilers! Oi! ダメだダメだダメだダメだダメだダメだあ、ダメだダメだちょっと待って、俺が止まらん、知る僕なんかポルノ俳優なんてまあまあまあまあまあ。Well, to be fair, I'm working on the physique. まあ、体ならまあまあ鍛えています。いや、実は見せたことがあるんだよね。体を。Like, I may have like shown some IRL pics of mine at some point. Yeah. ダメだよ、そんなもん。No, no, no, no way. Anyways. Okay, so what is grad school basically? Daigakuin. So this is grad school. So note that there's a different word for law school or medical school. Which I don't know actually. I haven't checked. Like, what is med school? Oh, there. Igakubu. Never mind. Oh my god. なんてこった。なんかおはようチンポとか、あれあれ何を言おうとしたっけ。タイトル、おはろく狼少年興奮夜の遠吠え行きまくり。あれやばいやばいやばいな。There are some things we're better off not translating to English. Rokuro getting banned from Twitch speedrun. But oh well, who cares? Okay, next one. This is more of like a tropical country thing, or just like Asia Pacific country thing. Typhoon. This is typhoon. Funny how the English name almost coincides with the Japanese name too. Typhoon and typhoon. Right? Eh? No one get it? No? Aw. I wanna cry. And then probably like the most random out of place noun here. Let me do better writing. It kind of sets a bad example if I don't. Mezamashi doke. This is an alarm clock. Although nowadays, this is a bit outdated. Nowadays, we just call it alarm. Yeah, we just call it alarm. But we already know this, right? Toke means alarm clock, right? So mezamashi means so like waking up. So waking up and then clock, you know? So it's a clock that helps you wake up. そう、目覚まし時計。アラームクロック。やったぜ。So that's it for the nouns so far. We'll move on with the adjectives. Never mind, there's only one adjective for now. なんてこった。So, adjective. Or I guess for this time, there's only one adjective. Okay. Or if you like, eventually when you reach like a certain level of Japanese where you just learn Japanese in Japanese. So adjectives are called Keyoshi. So what this means is that we know adjectives are called keiyoshi in Japanese. So adjectives are either like they end in or ek. That basically adjectives of the type of, or the na adjectives, we call them. That is the na ke. Or in Japanese, literally translating, that is adjectives of the na type. So yeah. On which, funny me that I put myself into like all the trouble explaining when I'll only get like one word out of this. Which is Kitanai. Kitanai. Kitanai means dirty, just like me. Like, it could be dirty from all the dust, it could be dirty from all the erotic thoughts, you know? Who knows? Which one is which? If you could like give me a That's like the only adjective I'll introduce, honestly. And then next up, we'll go for over. So, verbs in Japanese aren't called uke doshi. No. They're called way differently in Japanese. These are called Godan doshi. I did explain at some point why it's, called Godan doshi. It's because whenever we conjugate verbs, u verbs, like for example, yomu. So let's have this one for example. Let me just So for example, if I have yomu, right? To read. So we know yomu is the base, right? That's like the dictionary form. How about yoma? We have yomanai. Right? Which is basically what? Short form negative. There will be like others too, like passive. So yomaseru, yomareru, yomaseru, and then yomi. How about yomi? Yomimasu, right? The first conjugation we've learned, which is the present tense. Yomimasu. Yomemasu, right? Yomeru or let's go with yomeru. So yomeru, that is the potential form. That means you can read it. It's readable. Yomeru. How about yomo? We have yomo. Let's read. Let's read a dojin. Let's read the dojinshi. So, yomo. This is volitional form. So starting from the dictionary form, the base form, you have to go through either ma, mi, mu, me, mo. You possibly switch around. You cycle through all 5 vowels before adding the necessary things you need for the proper conjugation. Hence, they're called godan doshi. Because you need the 5 rows. But yeah. Eventually we'll go to like potential, I think. I think we've done potential already. But besides, how about the ma? How about this one? Yoma something. You've mentioned about passive, right? Yes, we'll go eventually with passive forms. So yeah, I hope you understood like why they're called godan doshi in Japanese. Although it'll take a while for people to understand because we have to go through all these conjugations one at a time. Otherwise, your brain will just explode from all this information. Okay, so let's start off with Our first verb. Okosu. So we know that okiru. We know this is familiar, right? Okiru, right? To wake up. How about if you want to wake someone up? That is okosu. So okosu here is the transitive verb, and okiru is the intransitive verb. Okay? So for okiru, it's to wake up. So it's just you know, waking up. Someone may have woken you up. You may have just like woken up by yourself. Who knows? There's no subject. No. There's no object to act on, basically. Another meaning of okosu means to cause something. For example, you can say to cause a problem, 問題起こす. And then in a similar fashion, okiru doesn't just mean to wake up. It also means something has occurred. Something occurs. Oh, 問題が起きました. A problem has occurred. So yeah. Why am I going deep over some word? Oh well. Okay, next word. My reference book doesn't have like the hiragana, the kanji for it. I don't know why. I just need like more lines. Ogoru. So we have ogoru, which means to treat someone to a meal. Which usually it's to a meal. So that's someone. We use object marker. Sorry, we have object particle. No, sorry, I got it wrong. So if you're gonna treat someone, that someone is will use the indirect. And then the meal is what you'll be treating. you'll use the object particle. Or the object particle. So yeah, we have these two so far. Okay, let's proceed with the third. Komaru. So to have difficulty or to be at a loss. Oh my god, I love this song. This is actually like my first for my first song cover, I covered this song. Give me just one. So yeah, it's Empty Dream by Luludi. Anyways. Okay, next one. Dasu. So last time we knew of deru, which is to go out. Or no, I probably haven't introduced that word yet, so never mind that. So dasu means to take something out. Like for example, I'll take my wallet out of my bag. So 財布をカバンから出す。So that's something we'll use the object particle. And then in certain cases, like for example, you're submitting something, you or you'll want to like hand in something, you'll use also this dasu. So this also means to hand in over, you know, to hand in something. All right, next word. I need like more rows here. So that means to take someone to somewhere. So that someone will be the object. And to somewhere, because we're going to somewhere, we'll use ni. Okay? For example, there. So that's we have ペロリ君をラブホテルに連れて行く。So that someone is ペロリ君 and then to where would be ラブホテル。あ名前を勝手に使わせていただきました。ごめんなさい。だってそろそろバレンタインでしょ。えへ。So yeah, that's how you use 連れて行く。そうあげるよあげるよあげるぜ必ずAt this point, what am I even saying? Say so this is gone after first anniversary. Say so なんて1周年記念以降はもう存在しない。終わったな、ロクロ。It's Jover. Okay, next word. Naosu. So naosu to fix. Or to correct. Oopsie.なんか白くてドロドロしているチョコレート、なんかゾクゾクしてるね。いや何言ってるかわかんない。what was I saying? These saucy allegations will never cease to. Okay, announce to fix or to correct. So you can say naosu on like broken stuff. Or, you know, to correct stuff like errors? No. Usually if it's a mistake, you would say 間違いを正す. Yeah, that's a different thing. Kobida harame. Funny how I didn't know of that kanji until I listened to J-pop. あの漢字よね。チンプジー。へへ。すげえな、みんなイケイケしてんな。Everyone's like kind of fun here. Okay, next word would be. Oh, this is me for a lot of like yeah, like for everyone who's like bad at directions. 道に迷う。道に迷う。Which means to become lost. Or to lose one's way, you know? Like to become lost like direction-wise. Auto ka na banana, arigato. Auto ka na banana. You know what? Like a good Valentine's idea, you know, dip like a nice banana. Auto ka na banana. Like, you know, dip like a nice thick banana in like white chocolate. So da ne. Kamazu ni shabure. Yeah. I did not say shit. 何も言ってない。男のバナナ。男のバナナ欲しいんですよ。Imagine if this is a classroom and your professor moans. Otoko no banana. Why are we all like this? Sugee na minna. Hold on. Otoko no banana. Why is my subtitles not... Otoko no banana. Okay, my subtitles should work again. Hi. And then, oh my god. So we have another word. I need more... Yakusu. So yakusu means to translate. So to translate something like a word, so or like any like text source, so it could be like anything here. In this case, like target language. Like, so we'll translate something, for example, a word, to the target language, so ni. So, for example, no. Sorry. So if we want to say translate translate curse to Japanese. Otoko no banana. Ay, yamete, otoko no banana. そういえば明日は節分でしょ? Wait, tomorrow is 節分. Wow. So, for example, translate. So yakusu. So we want to say Okay, I give up. So we want to say, for example, チンポを英語に訳す. So translate the word to Japanese, to English. Wow. So yeah. So the word we want to translate. まあ言わなくても言わなくても十分分かってるさ。Anyways, hi. Okay, next word. Otoku no banana. Otoku no banana. Next word is warau. Warau means to laugh. Okay, we good so far? You good? So these are all the two verbs we'll be introducing for now. So we will proceed to what do you call it again? We'll proceed to root verbs, and then some irregular verbs and adverbs and other expressions. I'll put them all in another column. What? Funny how my own auto-translate gets blocked by Twitch. Like, gets auto-modded. It's kind of funny. I just need this one, just like mark something. I just need this as a marker. So we have root verbs. Okay, so this time, why are root verbs called ichidan doshi? So let's go for the word taberu. For example, so this is the dictionary form, right? To get the present tense, what do we do? Remove ru, add mas, right? How about for short form negative? Remove ru, add nai. So you got tabinai. How about for volitional form? Remove ru, add yo. So we get tabeyo. How about for potential form? You can eat. Tabe raremasu. Still remove ru, then add raremasu. Or rareru. So, in other words, the reason why it's called ichidan doshi is simply because there's only one thing you have to do when you conjugate ru verbs. And that is to remove the ending ru. And then attach whatever you need. Okay? Okay, so let's have this word. Hold on. Let me do that more proper. Atsumeru. Atsumeru. Which means to collect. And then next word, probably my favorite word. Ireru. Ireru means to put something in or to insert something in. At this point, you probably know why. So similar, hold on. So this is like a similar thing as well. So that something will be our direct object. And then where are you going to put it in? Okay. So you may have been noticing that for a lot of transitive verbs, the direct object is usually indicated by the object particle. And then the indirect object is indicated by ni. Interesting, right? Okay, next. Oh my god, I hate this kanji. finally. Yeah, それ飲むんでしょ。食べるんじゃない。飲むんだ、飲む。Okay, so we have this word, 乗り遅れる. So if you notice, there are like two verbs, right? You know what? Hold on. Just a bunch of stuff. Way better. So 乗り遅れる, so we have 乗り, right? Then, so 乗る to ride, and then 遅れる is to be late, right? So 乗り遅れる means to miss a ride. The ride being could be a bus, a train. Usually in public transportation. Heck, you can miss your own flight. And which, in this case, actually, we're not using the object particle, but the indirect object. Ni. Okay, next word. Oh. For the exhibitionist here. What? What? 何言ったっけ? 見せる. Miseru means to show. Like, what are you going to show us? Ah, otoko no banana, arigato. Ah, otoko no banana. Oh my god. You'll love that, love that redeem. あの報酬結構好きだよね、みんな。So this should be the rule verbs we'll be introducing for today. So we only have 4. 集める、入れる、乗り遅れる, and 見せる. Okay, so we have full verbs, rule verbs. What do we have next? Irregular verbs. Ah, otoko no banana. Ah, otoko no banana. Okay, irregular verbs, also known as sokudoshi. I will write that. Ah, じゃあお願いね。なんつった？バナナ。バナナ。 痛いわ。乱暴だな。So yeah, so irregular verbs are also called hisoku doshi. So doshi are verbs. Up. So れはね、読んだらさすがにバラされちゃいますよ。っていうか、You forgot the して because tekoki is a noun. Ah, otoko no banana. Okay? Ah, otoko no banana. Anyways. Okay, so we have this word first. So, 朝寝坊する. So, means to oversleep. Although the asa, means morning here. So, it's usually in the context of you overslept in the morning, now you're late at work. But to oversleep in general is just 寝坊する. Okay? And the next one. Annai suru. Annai suru. Which means to show someone around. Or actually, it's more of to guide someone to somewhere. Or no, that's more of michibiku. But then that's like, This is usually, annai suru is usually for like, hospitality and stuff. So, I'll show you around, or I'll guide you around. So sometimes with the addition, like, where are you going to lead them to or guide them to? This could be ni or eh. Oh, for example, you want to guide the guest to the rooms. So, ゲストを部屋へ案内する or 部屋に案内する。Okay. And then another one. So next word. Oopsie. Which means to explain. For those who know Chinese or have learned Chinese, this word should be familiar. 说 Like what I'm doing right now. Like I explain words, I explain stuff, right? いろいろ説明しますね。And then our last irregular verb.迎えに来る。迎えに来る。迎えに来る means to come to pick up someone. So for example, you have like a friend coming over to your city, so you're going to pick them up at the airport. So 空港で、空港に迎えに来る right? Okay? So you probably know why this verb is irregular. It's because of 来る。Okay, so and then lastly we have adverbs and other expressions. So in Japanese, adverbs are 副詞 and then and other expressions would be お So other would be その他 So yeah, adverbs and other expressions in Japanese is 副詞とその他の表現. So expressions are 表現, so the other expressions would be like その他の. So let's go for our first one. Like, it's been an hour and 30 minutes, and all I've been doing is just introduce a bunch of vocabulary. Wow. Wow. Whoa. So, 今日中に which means by the end of today. So, actually in for like a lot of things, if you say like, you know, for example, it could be today or this week. You can say 今週中に. You can also say that. So the 中 part means that it's within that week. For example, within this week, or in this case in our vocabulary, within today. Or as we use popularly, by the end of the day. It can be earlier, you know? Okay, next word. Gomen. Gomen. So this is like the casual form of sorry. Okay. And then next word. That means this means excuse me. Or sorry to interrupt. Okay, so this is 失礼します。失礼します。And the next word. No. Okay, 自分で So this means by yourself or by oneself. So for example, 自分でゲームをする。So for example, yeah, 自分でゲームする。Play games by yourself. Okay? And then last adverb. This means during class. And then lastly, Hokano. So this means other. Like for example, other men. Hokano otoko. Oh my god, like I'm so bad at like getting examples. I picked like the sussy ones. And yeah, I think he has gotten quite a lot of vocabulary. Hold on. Just to like show everyone how the song request works, it's something like this. So yeah, these are all the vocabulary we have for today. So we start with nouns. Ekin, oya, gomi, sato, shogakukin, 親戚、推薦状、大学院、台風、目覚まし時計 or just call it alarm. For adjectives, 汚い。Then verbs, 起こす。そうだね、汚ね。ちゃんと洗ってくださいよ。OK、起こす、おごる、困る、出す、連れていく、直す、道に迷う、訳す、笑う。And then we go to root verbs. 集める、入れる、乗り遅れる。違う、出すやん。草。実はね、この曲を最近カバーしたいなと思っている。 So, truth be told, I kind of want to cover this song. さすがは、平沢進。We all love 平沢進。And then, 見せる。And then for irregular verbs, I just call it 寝坊する, honestly. You can just keep it as 寝坊する. You don't have to put 朝. 寝坊する. 案内する. 説明する. 迎えに来る. And then last, 今日中にごめん失礼します。自分で授業中に他の So yeah, it's been like an hour and a half and it's only just vocabulary. Holy shit. It's only vocabulary we got to cover. Wow. I just need this as like markers. So I guess we'll use the remaining 30 minutes or an hour to discuss some grammar. So grammar in Japanese is 文法. Jinpo. Yeah, なんでもないです。I did not say shit. えへ。So you know what? Let's go with like the big ones for the grammar. So we have the first one. Okay, so we have てくれる or てあげる or てもらう. Recall. In this grammar point actually, so we recall one of our previous lessons regarding くれる あげる and もらう. If you don't remember, this may help. Wait, does it have to be like this? There. Oh, there. So remember for kureru is from the outside going in, right? For example, Valentine present o kuremashita. Kureru. So you gave me, that is kureru. Someone gave you, that's also kureru. Okay? Someone else gave me, that's kureru. Right? If it's going in, kureru. If it's otherwise, if it's the opposite, then it's ageru. If I give something to you, ageru. If I give something to another, ageru. If you give something to another person, ageru. Okay? So, ageru and kureru are both give. It's just that the perspectives are different. Morao is receive. Okay? Arigato. 確かに愛をくれました。ありがとう、ペルリーク。So yeah, something like that. そういえば、応援してくれて、僕のことを応援してくれている皆さんに、ぜひ、ディスコードサーバー入ってみてください。たまに、特典とか出したりしますね。So yeah, for those who've been like supporting me, who has been supporting me, my Discord server is always welcome to all of you. Sometimes I even like have like special bonuses, so I have like top 10 and stuff. So yeah, I think it'll be worthwhile. So going out would be kureru, but in this case, oh. Hold on. Where's my shift button again? Oh, there. So, in this case, we'll use the te form. So, verb te form, remember? Sorry. My notepad died. Oh, there. なんかごめんなさい。So this time actually, so instead of giving something like an object, giving an object, we are like in this case, we are doing an action for someone else's sake. Okay? So last time when we discussed about kureru, ageru, and morau, we have what? We have like objects in question. We give presents or whatever. But this time, it's still like the same principle, but it's now act of service or whatever action. For example, so for therefore plus ageru, I do something for you. So, for example, yeah, I do something for you. That's going out, so ageru. Or you did something to another person, so that's also ageru. I did something to another person, that's also ageru. So for kureru, someone did something for me. Kureru. Someone did something to you. Kureru. You did something to me. Kureru. Okay? I'll discuss morau in a bit. So for example, so let's go for like ageru first. What? Ha? Ha? Natsuta? Natsuta? What did I say? Nothing? Nothing? Okay. Oopsie, sorry. Let's stop the tomfoolery. And actually, like, go like proper example. Like, I'm thinking of like a word that I can use here. Okay, got it. Alright, so we have this example. 彼のパソコンが壊れましたので、直してあげました。So, his PC broke, so 彼のパソコンが壊れました。ので、so, I fixed it for him. 直してあげました。So, the あげました literally mean, has that, what do you call it again? That nuance that you did someone a favor. So the agemashita here, this is like a favor you did. Okay? Pretty simple, right? Very good so far? Very good so far? But of course, if we just use like an objective statement, just for comparison, 彼のパソコンが壊れましたので直しました。Like you just did it, you know, you just repaired it, you just fixed it. But then if you just say 直しました, that means you're not really doing that person a favor. That nuance gets lost. So by using the te form and then あげる, that gives you that nuance that, hey, it's something I did for you. Okay? Let me drink some water. Nodo ga kawaita na de. So I was kind of thirsty, like really thirsty. So any concerns so far? Are we good? So how about the other way around? How about kureru? So that means a favor someone did for us, or a favor you did for us. What is oil? Support. Okay. So this is something a lot of VTubers say. Or any artist in general. 応援してくれてありがとうございます。Thank you for supporting me or supporting us. Depends on the context. So 応援する means to support. So if you just say 応援してありがとうございます, it doesn't make sense. Like what is that person supporting? Right? So by putting くれて or くれる, this gives you a nuance of a support done what? As a favor to you. This time it's the opposite. It's a favor done to you. Right? And by you saying ありがとうございます means you're thankful for it. 応援してくれてありがとうございます. Thank you for supporting me. So by putting くれて, that means you are recognizing the fact that support is a favor done by your fans towards you. Right? Okay, so any questions so far? So I think we tend to receive more favors than give out favors. So let's have like another example with てくれる. Hold on. Alright, since we're like in ads, so might as well like I'll just like write the example. Yeah. Let's put this in the second row. Oh, wrong kanji. Okay, so I know this is like a long sentence, so apologies for the silence. Uh,教える。I mean, it's not just Okay, so this is quite the sentence, but okay. 渋谷駅に道に迷ったけど、駅員さんが出口を教えてくれました。So of course, first, 渋谷駅に、so in 渋谷 station, 道に迷った。So I used the short form past tense. So we got lost. We're in Shibuya station. But 駅員さんが出口を教えてくれました。So a station attendant taught us or showed us where the exit is. So if you just say, 駅員さんが出口を教えました。You're missing, you're missing that nuance, that context, that attendant helped you, did you a favor so that you can get out of the place. Hence, we say, 教えてくれました。So this is to emphasize the fact that it was an action done for you. Or this is a favor done for you. Kanji なんでしたっけ？男のバナナ。これでしたっけ？いや、違う。男のバナナ。Did I get it right? Or I don't know. Anyways. Okay. Okay. How about morao? So we kind of understand how te ageru and te kureru works, but how about te morao? Otoko no banana. So how about te morao? So let's have this example. You probably know what's next. Of course, this isn't like a Rokuro style Japanese lessons without the mention of doujinshi. Otoko no banana. Otoko no banana. Okay. I know. 日本にいる友達にショタ同人誌を買ってもらいました。So now, if you notice, there's like such a huge difference in sentence, right? So, I had my friend in Japan buy me Shota Dojinshi. I mean, what kind of sale, you know? Like, wink, wink. Wink, wink. So this time, so if you take a look, 日本にいる友達にyou missed. 男のバナナ。So, let's identify. Don't ask me. Apparently, this is like my first time seeing it. You missed. Okay, so let's further analyze this. So my friend from Japan, so for simplicity, let's just say tomodachi. Friend. The friend is the person who did you a favor, right? Basically, the benefactor. Right? So with this, moratta, so from morao, so this time we are receiving a favor. From someone else. If we actually try to go back to other examples, this one. 渋谷駅に道迷ったけど、駅員さんが出口を教えてくれました。So, where's our benefactor here? This is the benefactor, right? But look at how it's worded. The subject, the benefactor is the subject, right? Right? So the benefactor is the subject for kureru or ageru. So similarly here. The subject in this case is just hidden, right? The I here, you can actually think of this as 彼のパソコンが壊れましたので、私が直してあげました。So I am the benefactor. I am not really benefactor. No, yeah, it's so I am the benefactor. So the subject is the benefactor for either ageru or kureru, right? But for morao, the recipient is the subject. I mean, next time. Don't worry. I hope my laptop wouldn't be broken for anywhere within the next 3 years or so. Like, please. I'm not ready to buy another one. Huh? Huh? Banana. PC ってペリスチンポ。そっか、了解。DM しないで。怖い。Just kidding. But yeah. So to summarize, we have like two points we actually discussed here. We've noticed here. So for kureru versus ageru, the benefactor, the one who does the action for the other person, is the subject. The only difference between ageru and kureru is towards the direction of the direction of the favor. Okay? But for morao, the subject is the recipient of the favor. Okay? Okay, any questions so far? Be good. I think this is like... Let's see if we have like one like time or... No, I think this should be it for now, because I know this is like a lot of information, so I don't want everyone to be burdened with more. So, like particularly when, you know, eventually we get to intermediate Japanese, for example. Like if we get to intermediate Japanese or advanced Japanese, I think it's better if we process all of these information like into more sizable chunks, you know? So that should be it for now. If you have like any questions, you can always go check. You can always ask on my server under the academia section. Okay. Okay. Now, who do we raid for tonight? 誰をレイドしましょうか? Who do we raid? You want to raid? Let's see who we can raid for today. Oh yeah, we haven't raided Nue for a while. Nue. So I think it's it's a good opportunity to raise support, So give me 1 second. This is the raid message. As usual. Please copy and paste please copy the raid message. And paste once we get to raid the person we want to raid. So yeah, with that, classes is over. So yeah, the Crescent Moon of the Covenant has concluded. この今月はこれにて閉幕と宣言します。はい。授業に来てくれてありがとうございました。So thank you for attending the lesson for the class for today. And next week we'll go back to beginner's Japanese. So it'll be like continuation of like last week, basically. So what I usually do is I alternate N4 and N5 level Japanese. So this is N4 level or upper basic. And then next week we'll back to beginner's Japanese N5 level, introductory. So yeah, and then 2 days later, we will be playing Genshin Impact. So we'll see you there. I don't think Genshin is something I can play on the widescreen though, but oh well. じゃあねー